You thought the MCU was going to end with Avengers Endgame, didn't you? Well, guess what? You and a lot of other people were wrong. Because Spider-Man is back! Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Far From Home is the sequel to both Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Homecoming, and in this movie it's directed by Jon Watts. Once again, it stars Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, is that how you pronounce his name? I actually don't know. Angourie Rice, and Jake Gyllenhaal is in this movie, along with Samuel L. Jackson and Kobe Smulders, reprising their roles as Nick Fury and Maria Hill, respectively. And in this movie, Peter Parker just wants to be a normal kid. He wants to enjoy his school trip to Europe. But along the way, he meets up with Nick Fury, and Nick Fury basically gives him a mission to do alongside Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal. But then, Peter learns that Mysterio is not really who he thinks he is, and some crazy stuff happens. So let's get into Spider-Man Homecoming. Not Spider-Man Homecoming. Who am I? What year is this? 2017? Spider-Man Far From Home. If you don't already know, of course I'm looking forward to Spider-Man Far From Home. I loved Spider-Man Homecoming. I've loved most of the movies in the MCU up to this point. I've always loved Tom Holland as Spider-Man. So there was a lot to look forward to with this movie. And for the most part, it absolutely pays off. This movie is a really, really fun time. And a really good movie at that as well. First of all, Tom Holland as Spider-Man. He's awesome. He's always been my favorite Spider-Man. He is the best Spider-Man. Don't at me, Tobey Maguire fans out there. Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man. And it's going to be hard to top Tom Holland as Spider-Man because he's just so good. He's also a great Peter Parker as well. He just fits into the role so well. And I think a lot of people are going to remember Spider-Man as being played by Tom Holland more than Tobey Maguire, in all honesty, because he's just that good. And also, Zendaya, I thought she was really good. Jacob Batalon and Angourie Rice reprised their roles. I thought they were really funny as well. Samuel L. Jackson's really good. Kobe Smulders is really good. But the standout in this movie, other than Tom Holland, is by far Jake Gyllenhaal. This guy steals the show completely. He is so good as Mysterio. And, when you see what he does and his performance, how the hell has this guy not won an Oscar yet? He's got to be the best actor to never win an Oscar, right? I mean, has he been nominated? I actually don't know. But he was still, I'm still bitter that he was snubbed for Nightcrawler, by the way. I'm never going to get over that. But yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, he's just such a good actor. He's got so much charisma in him. He's so great as Mysterio. And, every scene he was in, I was cheering almost. He was that good in this movie. He's one of the best supporting roles of the year for sure. So good in this movie. And just the story, how it connects to Avengers Endgame, I thought that was really well done as well. Remembering, spoiler alert for Avengers Endgame, by the way, if you haven't seen it. Remembering Tony Stark and what he did for the Avengers, how he helped Peter overcome a lot of obstacles and all that good stuff. Just great in memory of Tony Stark. They had, just the way they paid tribute to him, I thought was really well done. And not to mention, this movie has all the same humor as the first movie. I thought it was really funny for the most part. There's a lot of great funny moments, especially between Ned and Betty, played by Jake Batalon and Angourie Rice. I thought they were really funny. They had a great couple scenes together. I thought Zendaya was funny as well. And of course, Tom Holland, Jake Gyllenhaal, they had some good banter in there as well. Nick Fury, I thought, was really funny. And Jon Favreau's in this movie as well. I forgot to mention him earlier. He reprises his role as Happy Hogan. I thought he was really funny. There's so many jokes that are hilarious in this movie, especially in the first half. The first half of this movie is mostly just setup, although I thought it was really good. You had there were some good action sequences in the first half. as well as the second half. I'll get to the second half in a little bit, but in the first half, I thought some of the action sequences there were really good. And just like the whole setup, I thought was really well done. But then once the second half kicks in, holy hell, this movie will just blow you away. Like the visuals in the second half, especially involving like Jake Gyllenhaal, it's like some Doctor Strange type stuff in there. Like, not even kidding. Some of the visuals are like Doctor Strange-esque. It's pretty crazy. And then just all the action sequences, especially in the third act, is just wow. They're just absolutely amazing to watch. This movie is a pure spectacle. And then you get to the end credit sequences. Holy hell. I cannot wait to see where they go with this, because it left me in awe, especially the mid-credit sequence. And the end credit sequence, like the post-credit sequence too. Like, if you haven't seen the movie yet, make sure to stay for both the mid-credits and post-credit sequences, because they're definitely something that you don't want to miss. And it's also nice to see Nick Fury and Maria Hill back in the MCU again. It's been a while since we've really seen either of them. I know we just kind of saw Nick Fury in Captain Marvel, but it was a younger version of Nick Fury. We haven't really seen this version of Nick Fury since, like, I don't even remember the last time we saw him. Like, we saw him in Avengers Infinity War, but yeah, we haven't really seen him much before that. Just, like, everything going on in this movie. Like, there's some good subplots in there as well. Peter's still trying to, like, enjoy his school trip. I just thought everything worked out really well in that sense. So, yeah, this movie was just pure fun. That's really what it was. As good as Spider-Man Far From Home is, I do have a couple of small problems with it. The main one being, like, the first half setup, it can kind of take a little while to get going before anything really happens. And there's also a couple of characters that I really didn't like. There's the Flash character. He's back from Spider-Man Homecoming. He was probably my one flaw with that movie. And yeah, I didn't really think he worked out in this movie at all. I didn't really like his character all that much. And then there's another character named Bradley in this movie. I don't remember who plays him, but there's another character named Bradley. And then there's a scene in, like, I think on their way to Prague, I think, where Peter's, like, getting a new suit from somebody, and then Bradley kind of shows up. That scene, it was meant for a joke, but I didn't really think it was all that funny. And there were a couple other jokes that missed as well. But that's really it. As a whole, guys, I absolutely adored Spider-Man Far From Home. It was so much fun. The characters are all great. It was really funny. It captures the same humor as Spider-Man Homecoming does. And I thought it was a great continuation of the MCU. And Jake Gyllenhaal, the guy needs an Oscar at some point. He's not going to get it for this movie, but at some point, give the guy an Oscar. Should have been for Nightcrawler. Like, again, I'm not going to get over that. But, yeah. So, with that being said, Spider-Man Far From Home is a great time in the movie theater, especially in the third act and the second act, and even parts of the first act, even though it's a little bit slow. So with that being said, I'm going to give Spider-Man Far From Home a 92% certified fresh rating. That is a solid A. Alright, so there's my review of Spider-Man Far From Home. Have you guys seen it? What did you think about it? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below what you thought of it. And what's your favorite Spider-Man film? Personally, my favorite Spider-Man film is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And then I would say Homecoming and then Far From Home. That would be my top three. And what's your favorite movie in the MCU? Again, make sure to let me know down in the comments below what you think. And make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content to come in the future. Don't really know what my next video is going to be. I will be seeing Crawl pretty soon, though. I've been hearing good things about that, so you can expect a review of that up pretty soon. But until then, once again, my name is the California Cougar, and always remember to stay California cool. Peace.